So we've got about 40 minutes to meet. 40 minutes, and we've got a lot to get through. Some more stuff is happening with Ella. I'm a little bit worried about her. I don't know if you guys are worried about her at this point in the book. Oh, why are you worried about her, Sophia? She went to school. Should we worry about anybody that goes to school? No. There's something different about her school. Right. So Andy wasn't here last time. We talked about what's that word? That was so true. Oh, let's say it together. What is it? Obedience. Remember, it starts with the O sound. You say obedience.
Obedience.
Okay, so Andy, we all shared what we thought it meant if you're obedient, what it means. So what do you think it means if you're obedient? If I say, Andy, go run around the track outside. You have to do it, right? Now, we talked again. Perfect. So we talked again, and Desmond, maybe you remember this. We talked about when is it a good time to be obedient? In everyday life, for you guys, when is it a good time? When? Oh, when is it a good time? At school. Because if Mrs. Coley says, get into your groups, and you just do this.
Well, we
Are you ready?
don't have to do that because we don't have to move.
So you're waiting to move. But if you don't follow her directions to getting into your groups, you're not ready to go, right? When is it a time that maybe you're not obedient? What was the example? Oh, you can raise your hand when you want to share because that helps us all share. So when is the time, Sydney, do you remember what we talked about? Listen loud. Yeah. If somebody said, go jump off that cliff, I hope that you guys would not do that because you're so beautiful and wonderful. That would be terrible, right? What if, I like that Desmond's listening. What if it was like your sibling, right? What if your sibling, what if Landon came up to you and said, Sydney, go make me breakfast? Is Sydney gonna be obedient in that moment? She might say, no thank you, I don't feel like doing that right now. Or you can ask me nicely, Landon, right? So we are obedient in certain situations and not in other situations. What about Ella? Is Ella obedient all the time or is she only obedient sometimes? All the time. Okay, so let's practice real quick so we remember. If it's a command, will you hold up a C? You remember this? And what do we do if it wasn't a command? Shake your finger, right? Okay, I'm going to try one out. And so if it's a command, you hold up C, and if it's not a command, go like this. Yes, Sophia, thank you for raising your hand. A shawl. We'll answer that question in just a moment, okay? All right, here we go. Joshua, clap your hands twice. Oh, that was 3 times. That is a command. Okay. Desmond, I wish you would open your packet to page 4. Why was that not a command? Yeah, go ahead. He didn't do it, but why was it not a command? Why was it different? What, Sophia? I wish, right? I didn't tell him he had to do it. Okay, Sydney, why don't you read page 1 to us? What do you think? Why don't you read page 1? What's different about that one, Joshua?
Because you said why.
Why don't you? Okay, well then she can say, no thank you, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, let's see. Andy, wiggle back and forth. Is that a command? Yeah, it wasn't a choice, right? So if Andy was Ella, she'd just have to keep doing this until somebody said, Ella, stop, right? Okay, good. So can you guys put your finger on the top of this section and I'll answer the shawl question in just a moment. So I know I didn't do all of you, I'll cut back to you, okay? We're gonna look at this activate background knowledge and then we're gonna share pictures of Dame Olga from last time because I know that was really important to lots of you. Actually, let's do that first. Everybody hold up the picture of Dame Olga from last time. Here's mine. All right, is that your picture of Dame Olga?
Yeah.
Are you embarrassed to share your picture of Dame Olga?
Oh, I think.
Can you turn it? Turn so you can see. We're only sharing for about 10 seconds. Beautiful, okay. Doesn't mean you don't want to share? It's okay if you don't want to. He doesn't need to. Sophia, look at me. We're not going to shout out right now. It's not a good use of our time. All right, if you don't want to share, you don't have to. But if you did, beautiful. Okay. All of these have something in common. Is Dame Olga like a beautiful lady? Okay, I'm going to read her description real quick. It says, the speaker was a tall, plump, lady? What does it mean if you're plump? Raise your hand if you know. No, you don't need to call out. What does it mean if you're plump? You guys started reading about the mystery now, right? They started looking for what in the last chapter?
The clue.
The clues, right? They started looking for clues. So last time we met, we didn't get to fully finish that section. Do you remember that? Yeah? Okay. If you want to talk during this time, what do you need to do? So that we're not all talking over each other. What do we need to do if we want to share an idea, Hiram? Raise your hands just like normal class so that we can all hear each other, right? That's a good idea. Okay, so let's turn. I want to start, and I'll take your question in just a second, Hiram. I want to start on page 9. Yep, perfect. Marco's already there. He knows. He's like, we're on page 9, Miss Neely. All right, Hiram, what's that?
Even though they're so close to us, it doesn't mean you have to shout.
Right, you don't have to shout. It's a beautiful point. So just because we're all close together, we're not going to shout, right? We can just talk really quietly, and we're going to discuss our book. Because it's just now we're starting to learn the mystery about Bill and what happened to Bill. And the Boxcar children are going to start trying to solve the mystery. If you haven't answered a question, is now a good time to answer it? Is now a good time to answer it? It is a good time to answer it right now? No, because we're about to discuss it. So if you're missing an answer, Jaden, we can actually just go through and we'll fill it out as we go right now. But remember, these should be done beforehand. And just so that you listen, I want you to put your pencil down for right now. Okay, thank you. Let's see. Marco, will you actually switch seats with Jaden? Jaden, will you come right over here, bud? Because I'm thinking about how we're going to partner read later, okay? Thank you. Okay. So we're going to go through the questions that we didn't get to last time. I might have some friends partner read this part. And then we're going to start partner reading right at chapter 4, okay? Okay, so we ended and we talked about this guy named Bill. Do you remember Bill? Okay. What does Bill do for a job? Do you remember what his job was? Hiram, what was his job?
To have horses for racing.
Right, he had horses for racing. Did he race horses?
No.
What did he do with the horses? Do you remember, Jaden? He doesn't race them, but he does what with them?
But
Does he take care of them? Does he raise them? Yeah, he takes care of them, right? He just takes care of the horses. And then one day, there's this mystery surrounding Bill. What happens to Bill? Jaden? He disappears, right? Does he love his wife, Margaret?
Yeah.
Why would he leave her? Right? He just disappears out of nowhere, even though he loves his wife. So that's kind of part of the mystery, right? So we know some things leading up to Bill's disappearing. Margaret heard some things, right? And she smelled some things coming from different parts of their house. And she could tell that Bill wasn't in a very good mood the night that he disappeared. The other question I have for you, do you guys remember, was he like a strong person or was he more of like a weak person? Not physically, but like emotionally, right? His emotions, was he a strong person, doesn't let anybody push him around? Or does he let people push him around sometimes? Okay, what do you mean by that? Can you share? Nice and loud.
He lets people boss him around.
He lets people boss him around. So it's not like weak, like you can't lift up weights. It's weak, like he lets people tell him what to do. Who does he let tell him what to do the most? Who really bossed him around a lot? And that might be on page 8 if you wanted to go back and look. I'm sorry, page 8 in your packet. Who bosses him around a lot? Do you remember? Not Margaret. Margaret's his wife, and she bosses him around. You want to try again?
Brother Sam?
His brother Sam. Okay, do any of you guys have a sibling? Raise your hand if you have a brother or a sister.
I have a big brother.
Okay, so maybe right now you're making a connection and you're thinking about how your older brother or your older sister bosses you around sometimes, or maybe how you boss around your younger brother or younger sister. And that's what siblings do sometimes, right? They're not always perfect with each other. We'll use that word. So in this case, Sam is kind of bossy towards me, right? Okay, so I want to know on page 9 in your task packet, what noise did Margaret hear when she was in bed the night that Bill disappeared? What noise? Marco, what did you write?
Granny.
Can you read the whole thing starting at Margaret?
Margaret heard a clear granny noise.
Good, let's read that together again. And that word is, say, queer. Queer is like another word for weird or odd. Okay, so Margaret heard, let's read together.
Margaret heard
a queer grating noise. Do you know what a grating noise sounds like? Can you guys make a grating noise with your mouth? Could you all try right now? What do you think it sounds like?
It's like this.
Is it like this? Coo, 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 coo. Is that grating noise? It's like this. If something grates against something, it's like rubbing against it. So she hears a grating noise, and she's in the bedroom, and he's in the living room, and she hears this. And what does she think it is? Does she know?
That sounds scary.
It does sound a little scary, right? Okay, and then Margaret smells something too. What does she smell? She hears something, and she comes out, and Bill's just reading. Just reading. It looks totally inconspicuous, right? But she heard something. And then she smells something later. What does she smell? Go ahead, Jaden. No, not that part. Let's go back and look on page 35 in your book. Please open up 35. I'm looking for the first friends that get there. You can tap your nose when you're on the right page. So I'm on 35. I'm going to tap my nose. Marco's on 35. Isael's ready. Ram is ready. Jaden is almost ready. 3, 2, keep going, keep going. One more. Perfect. There we go. Okay, looking at page 35. At the bottom it talks about, actually let's look over here. Oh, the top, yep. So at the very top of 35. Can you put your finger on the word no? Okay, so it said, did she ever find out what it was, what the noise was? And it says, and you can follow along with me right now, no, Benny, she never did. To this day, you can read with me, nobody knows what Bill was doing in that front room. This went on for 2 nights. The next night, Margaret smelled something queer. So again, what does queer mean? Like weird or odd, right? She's like, it smells odd. Keep reading with me, it's she. Right here. She thought it might be paint. You guys ever smelled paint before? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a sharp smell, right? It doesn't smell like you just want to keep smelling paint, right? Okay, so you should have put down Margaret smelled something like paint. If you don't have that answer, can you fix it right now? Do you have that answer? So what are you doing right now? If you already have paint, you can put a little check mark next to it, and once you write paint, you can also put a check mark next to it. Real quick, Kira.
When I was checking this,
Mm-hmm.
I found the picture near the middle, but Jaden can't find it, so I couldn't.
Okay, that's great. And it's okay if we have different answers, right? Because sometimes when we're reading, we process it differently, like we read it differently. And so when we meet together, we're correcting answers and making sure that we understood it, right? And we're especially making sure we understand the big details. Because what the noise and the paint, if you're a detective, what are those? Listen again to my question. Jaden, are you waiting? Are you listening? Turn this way. Marco, don't yell it out yet. I want you just to listen. If I smell paint and heard grating, and I'm trying to solve a mystery, what do those things count as? They count as what? Raise your hand if you think you know. They count as, Jaden?
Painting a wall?
Could be painting a wall, but it counts as a, ooh, I found a, what, Isael?
Clue.
It's a clue, right? Think about it, that noise and that smell.
Chapter 4, Regina. It's right there. I know you two read together, so Zoe, you're going to read this page. Stray, you're going to read this page and then stop, okay? Regina, you're going to read this page. I'm going to read the next page. Voices, nice and close. Okay? Ready? Go. Sure, can you grab your box?
And one of my lots of because he wants to get something. My father wants to He wants to work.
Why does he want to work?
Because he has big
Straight.
He wants to stop telling me.
Let's go back and see what it says. Look at that. Just
Oh,
look at
I
that.
know.
I want to see what the hand raised here, and I want to see what that page. What does it say? Why
It
does he
says,
want to work?
it says, like, unless the son, he wants to stay home with him.
He wants to save money for what?
Once I am going up.
So his dad is working there?
No, he's making himself to work his own money.
Oh, he's working to save money. Straight up.
He wants to do something, and that's why he's maybe working.
Okay, do you hold on 1 second? It's so strange. Go ahead.
And maybe he's still studying so he can get money from people.
Do you think Julian really wants to work, or do you think it's just his excuse for not writing like that? So that was one of his lies that he made up, so he doesn't have to ride the bike.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to do what?
Doesn't have to what?
What?
Doesn't have to do it. Right. Okay, so he makes up a lie, so he doesn't have to ride his bike. What's his lie that he made up? Straight?
That. He said that he's not like Gloria.
Okay, look, he tells Gloria a lie so that he does not have to ride a bike. What is the lie he tells Gloria? Zoe?
Or like after her, I believe it is sweating.
Okay, chapter 2.
I think. Like,
Okay.
that he said like that he cannot make up he cannot like I cannot like so he's gonna make up a line to say right
Wait,
there
what's the lie he made up though?
that
What's making him do that?
work and that's the lie that he has to work all the time, but he doesn't have to, so he's just making up a lie for an excuse to not ride the bike.
Good, Zoe, and that's what we just found out here. By the way, Julian, we just found out it is not making him do that. Julian is the one that wants to do this. Okay, I want you guys to continue reading. Straight and read your page. Regina, we're gonna read.
I know that's a doing how he wants to work.
Okay, ready? See, what can you do? What makes you think that?
They didn't go that they wanted a function. So his dad had a secret that he not telling, but I knew what it was. But I could tell you what you got.
So once you go finish these, please wait before you go to those. Okay? Pages 27 to 36. That's pages 10 through 13. And since everybody had beautiful sentences in all of their pages, you have earned your word stamp for today. Yes, I will give you your stamp because everybody had beautiful sentences and complete answers in their packet. We don't have time today, but if you finish your pages tomorrow, you can start your own picture. Okay, at this time, I would like you to please give your books and packets to your captain. Captains, you may put your materials in your box and pull out your stamp card. I will come around and give stamps to groups that I see sitting quietly, and then